Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramon, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I am so excited to have you join us today. Wait to hear my guest. It's going to be a fun one. But we dedicate this podcast to exploring the idea of using your servant's heart in your life and your profession so you can truly make a difference in your world. Imagine that. I do it every day, and it's so much fun. And my guests are going to show you, and today especially, we're going to show you how to really serve. But also, too, my guest is going to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you as well to change and impact your world. And I want you to think about today as you listen to my guest. Again, I keep saying this, but it's going to be a really good show. But here's the important, think about how you're going to serve yourself and others today and what impact you want to create today. And I say today, and I say today, and I say it over and over because people tell me I waited, like in business and life, hey, I'm going to clean my clothes, and you wait and a day goes by or whatever it may be. I want to say brush your teeth. That would not be good, but we forget about things. Life gets in the way. So think about when you listen to this great show, what you can do to serve, because he's really going to inspire you to do that. And I want to thank today's episode, my proudly sponsored Pantheon Alliance. Would you like to be part of an exclusive community of high income, very successful business owners and entrepreneurs in very diverse industries? They're building a thought leader platform to go ahead and change and impact the world. For more information on Pantheon Alliance, just reach out to me and we'll get you all the information. Impact and change the world. It just gives you such a good feeling. But then there's the scary feeling like, can I really do it? Well, here's my suggestion. My guest is going to give us many more suggestions, is start with your world and change your world. And everybody does that, we will have a better world. With that being said, Todd, I want to welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here.
It's as I told you, I'm so fired up. Let's start with the very general question. How can love impact and change the world?
Well, that's a small question with a small answer, I'm sure, right?
We'll dive more.
I before I became a relationship coach, I spent 20 years as an ordained Lutheran minister, and without getting too heavy quickly, I walked the journey many times with people at end of life. And it sounds a little cliche, right? Nobody says, I wish I'd spent more time at the office. But really, the message I heard over and over and over again was the people who you are in relationship with, the love that you produce, the love that you give, that's what matters in the end. That's how people understand who they are and they understand what their life meant. And so how do we know what love can do in the world? Well, it changes us. It changes the people that we touch. And there's this strange compounding nature of love and of blessing. And when we put it out there, it's not just a one for one. Somehow the one that you put out becomes 2, becomes 10, becomes 100. So it has the power to transform anything from businesses to institutions, to individuals, to countries, but to the world.
Yeah, it's a powerful word. It's misrepresented a lot. Love and empathy. I like to throw that in there. I love that you said, end of life. And I don't love that you said that, but audience, we're all going to die. That's just going to happen. It's nothing that we can avoid, right? But I love why you're on this show as a servant's heart. So tell us how a servant's heart can lead to that legacy when end of life happens, that you're not regretting anything.
You know, servant is a fantastic word. It's really interesting because the implication is that we are putting others' needs high on our list. I don't want to say in front of our own because that's a dangerous path to walk where we give too much of ourselves away. We have to be balanced and centered and aware of our own needs as well. But when we serve one another, I like to think about it this way. If I'm self-serving, there's one person looking out for me. If I'm serving all of my people in my life, my daughters, my wife, my clients, the people in my congregation, I have those people then serving me in return. There's this hundreds of people, and we're all serving one another, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a rising tide lifts all boats. We each are having our needs met. We're building things that no one of us could do on our own. Everything that's great happens together. It doesn't happen on our own.
Yeah. And I love a word when they change it like LOVE, LUV. There are always so many interpretations, but it's still love at the bottom line. I love what you do. You jumped in. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
I was just going to say, I think one of the problems that we often face with that word is the notion that somehow we have to feel it in order to do it. But I think that's a common misperception. I find actions beget feelings rather than feelings begetting actions. So when we choose love, when we do loving actions, when we make an intention on the day, like you were saying at the start, I love this. So today is the day, and it does. You'd be a tiny little thing. But when we choose that love, then on the other side of that action, there's this feeling. I feel good. They feel good. The world is a better place. So don't wait to feel love to act on it. Act on love in a choosing, in an intentional way, and you'll be shocked at what you feel.
He's a genius, guys and girls, because that's what I tell with servant heart. It's you just do it without an ROI. The ROI is eventually going to be universe and things, but the feeling you get when you serve, that's the action part of the action you're talking about. When you say be actionable with love, just go serve somebody. Guarantee you, guys and girls, it's the best feeling in the world.
It is.
So you work with couples, and I love because it's tough to be a couple. We were laughing before the show about that. What did you say before the show? You got to tell the audience.
Oh, I love to say, however many years you've been married, when people tell me, oh, I've been married 5 years, I've been married 20 years, my response is always, oh, those are the hardest years. The first 5 years are the hardest. The first 20 years are the hardest. Like there isn't a point where we go over the hump and, oh, I don't have to try in my marriage anymore. I don't have to try in my relationship anymore. We're always work. But the value, as you say, the return on the investment is so worth it. And there's this growth that happens in us. I like to think a little bit in terms of the Trinity, like three overlapping circles, right? There's the partner number one in the relationship, there's partner number two in the relationship, but the relationship is that third thing, and it has an existence all on its own. And sometimes, we serve partner one, sometimes partner one serves partner two, but often both partners are in service of the relationship. And there's this beautiful economy, this beautiful ecosystem that happens when we recognize that there's this existence of this thing between us, not just you and me, but between us as well.
I love the image of the Trinity, the three circles. It really is cool. I didn't think about that, and you just taught me something, which is why I love hosting these shows. I forget the relationship part. We're always thinking about each other, but there's that third circle. Is that what happens? People kind of lose sight of that or forget that.
Yeah, and the more pain that we're in, the more frustrated,
Okay.
annoyed, the more exhausted we are, the less bandwidth we have, the easier it is to lose sight of that thing because it's intangible, right? I can see my wife, or I can see myself and my needs, but I forget that there's this relationship that has its own existence between us. And like I said, sometimes husband serves wife, sometimes wife serves husband. But when wife and husband serve relationship, there's this return, this I don't even know, it kind of flows or rains down because the interconnectedness of it all, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's delve a little bit deeper into that. So, give us an example of working on your relationship, not on each other, what that looks like.
That's a great question. So one of the most important things that people can do in their relationships is set aside time for the relationship. And, you know, it doesn't take many years of marriage to fall into the trap of doing business in the time that we have together. You know, there's always business to be dealt with. The homeowners association, or the taxes, or the parenting is something that takes up a lot of time. Or we come home from our work and it's like, oh, my wife is my partner in life, so I'm going to dump on her about all the stuff that went on work. I tell all of my clients, and you know, sometimes when they are in a tough spot, when I meet them, it can take time to get there. But
Yeah.
date your spouse. Just set aside time. And here's the thing: it doesn't have to be productive. It doesn't have to be doing something fun. Sit on the couch and watch a show. Go to the restaurant and have a meal. Take a walk through the park around the neighborhood. It doesn't have to be that you have a purpose or an end that you're trying to accomplish, because just the time spent in one another's, you know, I like to say that relationships actually, healthy relationships have just two ingredients. One is shared experience, doing things together. The second is mutual vulnerability. And
Mhm.
that vulnerability can't happen if we don't have the shared experience. So if we spend a couple of hours a week together, then we'll be a little bit more trusting, a little bit more available, a little bit more vulnerable, and that's when we really have those deep connections and discover why we are with that person in the first place. We remember why we're with that person in the first
Yeah.
place.
This is so powerful because especially today, it's October 14th, almost of July, October 14th,
I think it's
and
November.
November. See, I can't even say my date. See, guest has to correct the host all the time, and that's a great thing. But this time, the election just happened. We had COVID 4 years ago. I think more than ever, we need to reconnect, like you were just saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
dating your relationship, getting together and spending just a few, you know, my wife loves it. And we go to movies and dinner, and that's her love language. And, you know, we'll get into that maybe a little bit too. But dive into that, what's COVID's done and all the stuff going on in the world affecting couples.
Well, there's an old joke: I married you for breakfast and dinner, but not for lunch. And I think COVID really kind of drove a stake in the heart of that, because so
Yeah.
many of us ended up spending maybe more time than we were accustomed to. And you know, it's easy to have small annoyances. It's easy to feel like your space is invaded, and you know, to give time to the relationship, to give attention to the relationship, doesn't mean losing yourself. There's a balance to be struck. As I was saying earlier, you know, being sublimating your own needs is just as bad as being the needy person who never thinks of the other. There's a balance to be struck, and self-care is a big part of what I teach my clients to do, as well as relationship care. Because you know, I teach emotional intelligence, and there are four basic components to emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, other awareness, or we might call it empathy, maybe other management, right? We would love it if that was the fourth one, but we can't manage other people. What we can do is manage our interactions with them. So that fourth one
Yeah.
is interaction management or relationship management. But there's a balance between self and other, and that's one of the magic ingredients in a successful relationship.
Okay. You've set us up. Love's important. Couples need help. Walk us through the journey. You've got a new client, a couple. How do you work with them and the mission?
That's a great question. You know, the first thing I try to do is just make personal connections.
Mhm.
Very frequently, I find that my couple clients come to me through the wife. I think that sometimes the women are a little bit more inclined to seek help. They're a little bit more inclined to make connections. And one of the things I have to do is be sure that the husband doesn't think I'm on the wife's side, and that I'm going to be taking sides. So unlike a lot of couples work, I meet with each person individually, as well as the three of us together, and I form these relationships in my own way with each person. I happen to use a tool called the Enneagram, and so the beginning of my program is learning about your Enneagram type. And as we explore your type and you begin to see the value and the insight that this system of understanding ourselves offers, then I kind of turn the coin and go, see if I can speak to your experience. Let me pull the curtain back on your spouse's experience. Let me share with you why they see the world the way they do, why they respond to the world the way they do.
Yeah.
And there's beautiful space of empathy, and compassion opens up, because we have a tendency to judge ourselves by our intentions and others by their actions. And when we understand the inner workings of our partner, all of a sudden, those very things that were so frustrating during COVID, those things that ultimately annoy you, go, oh, I see why you're this way, and now my heart, there's a space in my heart for you to be this way. It doesn't mean there aren't things that we need to work on,
Yeah.
but it's no longer this. It's no longer you and me against one another. It's sort of you and me together, trying to be against maybe the problems that we're solving, or reaching for the relationship we want to have together.
Yeah. Serving each other. It's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to break a podcast rule, and I'm going to talk about a movie that just came out. If you've watching this a couple days later, it'll be out in a couple days, but I guess it'll work because they may see this a couple weeks later. Just watched the movie Here with Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. Interesting movie, but I really liked it. But it was one scene. There's a guy there talking about their relationships, and Tom Hanks goes, "Well, who are you?" He goes, "Well, are you a psychologist?" He says, and he says, "No, I'm a life coach, CHHHP, whatever." And he goes, "Okay, why are you here?" He goes, "Because she needs to leave you." Without even knowing who they are. He had just met them. And I kind of seen, not that psychologists do that, but you stay away from that. You want to build this relationship to the max until it's successful. And maybe sometimes it's not, right?
Yeah, I wish I could say every couple has a happy ending,
Yeah.
but truth be told, the best person to be in relationship with is another healthy person. And when both of you are committed to growth, when both of you are committed to well-being, then the relationship can blossom. That's part of why I form relationships with both husband and wife, because I want to paint a picture for each of them individually of who they can be at their best. Because when each person is striving for their own best, lo and behold, the relationship is remarkably improved. Whereas when we sort of focus on the relationship and to the neglect of either partner, it's that strange. Remember, we were talking about that Trinity earlier. It's strange. You
Yeah.
can't really focus on the relationship to the neglect of either partner. But when each partner is healthy and balanced, all of that is to say, when one partner is unhealthy, or when one partner refuses to be a part of the process, sometimes the healthiest thing for the other partner is to move on, and there's no shame in that. When I was a minister, I was a young minister, and someone would come to me and say, we're getting a divorce. My initial response, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that's so hard, I can't believe it. Compassion. After about 10 or 12 years of being minister, I switched, and when somebody said we're getting a divorce, I said congratulations. And it always knocked people off their feet. Why would you say that? Because you're finally taking a step toward the you that you can be, toward the health that you've been living in fear, you've been living in pain. And I don't want there to be any shame associated with making choices that are good for you and good for maybe for your partner too.
And that's what a servant heart does, is sometimes it's the way, it's a negative way, but it's the best way to go. And you've got to do that. You have 25 years experience in relationship coaching. So you met a few people, a few people. You have a story in the top of your head you can tell us of a couple you work with and the benefits they got?
Yeah, I think about, I won't use their real names, of course,
No,
but
no.
I think about a couple that one of the first ones that I worked with when I was a minister, and when I discovered the Enneagram. In the beginning, I've been a relationship coach in a private capacity for about 8 years now, 20 years an ordained minister before that. And this couple, what happened was I was able to say, okay, she happened to be a type 2, he happened to be a type 7. These are Enneagram types. There are 9 in the system. And when I was able to say, your wife sees the world this way, your wife responds to things this way, he melted and he cried and he said, I had no idea. Like we all kind of graduate childhood with the assumption that everybody is like us. Everybody wants what we want and values what we value. And that's why we
Yeah.
say things like, I can't believe he would do this, or how could he possibly? But when we have that peek behind the curtain, and then when she saw him moved to understand her, she reconnected with him. There was a lot going on between them. There had been infidelity. There was financial troubles. There was lots of struggles that they were facing. But almost all of that fell away, fell into the background. It's like if we are together, if we are connected, it really doesn't matter what we face because we can do it together when we are lifting each other up and serving one another in those ways. So really, it's less about solving whatever problem you come to me with than it is about teaching you how to be together, how to be problem solvers together, because that's a tool that you can take with you, for the next 10 years or 20 years or whatever, however long you are together, hopefully forever.
Yeah, that's it's always the plan, right? And
Right.
we're coming to the end here, but you said something about past life, and I'm paraphrasing, but it brought a question in my mind. How big is our childhood, our experiences as a young person dive into our couple's relationship?
Oh, it's really enormous. The
Yeah.
relationships we have early in childhood frame the way that we expect people to treat us, frame the way that we expect what we expect of ourselves in terms of showing up in a relationship. But here's the thing I would want your listeners to take away from that. Just because you have, and we think in terms of patterns, right? Patterns are
Yeah.
established. And what I want people to know is just because a pattern is established, that's not a life sentence. It's maybe your initial response, your initial reaction. You have an instinct to behave in a patterned way. But the reason that happens is because children have to navigate life before the brain is fully developed and we can make conscious choices and aware and intentional choices. Now that we're grown-ups, if we have the tools to recognize the patterns, then we have the opportunity to choose different ways of being in the world. So it's not a condemnation that your childhood was the way that it was. It's not a given that this is all you could ever be. In the world of the Enneagram, we say you are not your type. Your type is your instinct. It's how you behave without thinking. But that's what I teach my clients to do: be aware of it, to be thoughtful, to be intentional, and choose different patterns, choose healthy patterns. And that makes all the difference. So it's not it's not a something you can't break free of. It's our starting place, but not our ending place.
You're an amazing guest. We come to the end here, but you brought around full circle self-awareness, emotional intelligence, being self-aware of that trauma. You just taught me something huge for me. Being aware of that will make a difference. And when they come in to see you, or people come in to see you, being aware, go, hey, Todd, I had this, and this happen, but you could just move much faster, right?
Yeah, I have the tools and I have the
Tools. Okay.
experience that I offer to my clients to help them accelerate the process. I don't, you don't have to learn these ropes yourself. I wish that, our generation had been taught these things in grade
Yeah.
school. My kids are already ahead of me when I was their age because thankfully we are learning as a species to value these things in new ways. But yeah, that's the goal, is to accelerate the process and to spare you the heartache. I like to say that awareness is the first step on the road to transformation, and oftentimes it's the only step. As soon as you're aware, then you have choice. As long as you remain unaware, you are bound to repeat the patterns.
Yeah, it's yeah, once you transformation happens fast, because now you know that's why I am who
Yeah.
I am. Don't do that anymore. Oh, it's audience, we're making it sound simple. We know it's not. That's why Todd's around and other people are around helping you, because you need accountability and education direction with that.
And yep,
Um,
guidance and support. Yep.
guidance support. Thank you. See, guests always give me better words. That's why I love having them. Thank you for those words. Let's do something fun. I always like to end, especially this one. It's got a little serious, which is good. So we're gonna do improv. You have
Okay.
a reservation at a restaurant, table of four. You're obviously
Yeah.
gonna sit in one chair. Save one for your wife if you want. We'll make two chairs for you. But you got
Yeah.
three empty chairs. Who would you invite, dead or alive? Why would they be invited? And also, what food would you order?
Oh boy. Well, I would love to order something spicy. I'm a big fan of Thai. I'm a big
Okay.
fan of Asian cuisines. And who would I invite? I think I imagine your guests have given these answers before, but I think to have a Jesus and the Buddha would be an amazing conversation, one that might go deep into the night. I might have to give that third chair a little thought because I'm not sure who might also stand up in that same realm. Maybe Moses might stand up in that same realm. But to me, these people who, long before there was such a thing as social science, long before there was such a thing as understanding the, in a corporate way, in a community way, they came along and they had tremendous insight into what it means to be human and how to do it in ways that are successful, not only for ourselves to grow and to feel fulfilled, but also in ways that shine a light into the world so that others can follow that path and experience that blessedness too. So I would love to just be on a fly on a wall and hear some of those conversations.
I'm with you. That's so powerful. Well, thank you again, Todd. This has been unbelievable. You've taught me some things. I know the audience has learned some things. I'm motivated, inspired to make my relationship even better. I'm sure other people are. But I think people want to connect with you or support you. How can they do that?
Well, the easiest way to do that is to come to my website. You see my company's name on the screen there. I am Connect Fully, and that's with a K, KONNECTFULLY.com. That's the fastest way to get to me. You can even email me directly, Todd@connectfully.com. I love to meet people. I love to hear stories. I'm not trying to make everyone into a client. Really, what I'm discovering is that there are infinite number of ways to show up in the world for yourself, for other people, for your relationship. I'm constantly learning too, and I would love to connect with people to hear what their joys, their triumphs, their struggles, their needs are. That's a wonderful gift to me. That's what I wake up each day to do.
Thank you for being a servant's heart. That's exactly what you are. And in an industry that means a lot of it, love and couples. So thank you. It's just a blessing. And audience, I'm gonna CTA call to action is subscribe to the YouTube channel. And this is a perfect show to do that. Love is everywhere. There's couples everywhere. Take the podcast link from this show after you listen to it and you go, hey, my friend or family member, God, they need help with their relationship.
Yeah.
Share the link and go, I just listened to this great guy, Todd, talking about relationships. I think he can help you, or you need to talk to him. Whatever way you communicate that, and let them spend 10, 15 minutes with Todd and learn like we've learned, like I learned today. There's a lot of need here. There's a lot of passion behind it as well. It's people don't talk about it enough, podcasts, and they're great. I love doing them, but I think that's a tool that we can use, kind of a marketing tool, but it just, when it servant's heart go, hey, I know you mentioned you have a problem with your relationship. Hey, here's a link to listen to. Just do that, and it's going to be awesome. Comment on the YouTube channel. It'll come out in a couple days. And if it's for Todd, I'll get the comment to him. If you need to connect with them, I'll connect you with them as well. Either way. And as always, I say this, me and Todd want to thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Have a good day.